Being aware of equality and disability. TfL is committed to improving transport in London by making it more accessible, safer and reliable for all. Public transport plays an important role in opening up opportunities by providing access to education, employment and other essential services. It helps people stay in touch with family and friends and allows many people to live independently. This section tells you about your responsibilities and how to provide the best service to all your passengers. Assisting passengers. TfL believes it's important to provide a public transport system which all people can use, so that older and disabled people have the same opportunities to travel as all other people. TfL expects PHV drivers to deliver a high standard of customer services to all passengers, whatever their needs. However, we know that some passengers may need more help. This section gives you information, advice and tips on what you can do to help disabled passengers and other passengers that require assistance. For example, if the passenger is visually impaired and asks you to guide them to the vehicle, stand by the person's side and allow them to take hold of your arm or elbow so that you can guide the customer along. Do not take hold of the passenger and pull or push them in a particular direction. Always ask your passengers if they need help and wait for your offer to be accepted. Listen to any requests and remember that everyone is different. Be ready to give disabled and older passengers some help. This could be as simple as writing things down for them, giving them a little extra time, facing them so they can see your lips as you speak, or speaking loudly and clearly if they have problems hearing you. Talk directly to the older or disabled person rather than to the person with them if they're travelling with someone. Tell the passenger where they are going and let them know about any possible dangers such as pavement curbs, doors opening towards or away from them and slopes going up or down. This will help prevent accident and injury. When you arrive at your destination, tell the passenger the location, then offer to assist them out of the vehicle and to guide them to a safe place before leaving them. Clearly tell the passenger how much the fare is. When you give change to passengers who are visually impaired, it's important to count out the coins and the notes into their hand. Offer to help count out the change if a passenger seems to be having problems. Always have a pen and paper with you so that you can write things down. This can help passengers who have a problem hearing or passengers who do not speak much English. If you drive a wheelchair accessible vehicle, make sure the equipment is in good working order and therefore available to use at any time. Be careful of where you pick up and drop off wheelchair users. Avoid places where the pavement is on a slope. Disabled or older passengers may need more time or help to get in and out of your vehicle. For their safety, be patient and make sure they are comfortable and have their seatbelt fastened before you start the journey. You can also help by asking the passengers if they have all their belongings with them before you set off and when you arrive at their destination. During the journey, visually impaired passengers in particular should be told about any delays or changes to the route. This is also a good thing to do with any elderly passengers or passengers who have a learning disability, as they may get worried or upset if there is a change to the route they expected to take. Not all disabilities are easy to see, so offer or be prepared to help any passenger. Equality Act 2010. It's illegal to treat anyone unfairly based on any of the characteristics protected under the Equality Act. It's unacceptable for you as a PHV driver or for any of your customers to use language or behave in a way that discriminates against any person. As a PHV driver, you are expected to treat all passengers in a professional and respectful way, without making a judgment about any person's personal characteristics or assuming anything about them. Characteristics protected under the Equality Act: marriage and civil partnership, sexual orientation, sex, gender reassignment, religion or belief, disability, age, race, pregnancy and maternity. Designated wheelchair accessible PHVs. If you drive a designated wheelchair accessible PHV, you have certain duties under the law. Your operator should be aware that the vehicle you are driving is a designated wheelchair accessible vehicle. If your vehicle is a designated wheelchair accessible PHV, you must carry the passenger while they remain in the wheelchair and make sure the safety belts are attached to the wheelchair to keep it in a safe position. You must not charge extra because a passenger uses a wheelchair. You must carry the wheelchair safely and securely if the passenger chooses to sit in a passenger seat. Make sure the passenger is carried safely and in reasonable comfort. Offer the passenger any help that's reasonably required. Exemptions. A driver can only get permission to not carry wheelchairs for medical reasons. If a driver cannot carry out the duties of Section 165 of the Equality Act because the driver's poor health or fitness makes it impossible or unreasonable, an exemption certificate may be given to the driver. You'll need to contact TfL to apply for an exemption certificate and, if granted, you'll need to display an exemption notice in the windscreen of your vehicle. Assistance dogs. Section 170 of the Equality Act says that PHV drivers must accept passengers with assistance dogs and must allow the assistance dog to sit in the footwell next to the passenger. Assistance dogs are highly trained working animals, so should not be treated like pets. Do not stroke or feed assistance dogs or distract them in any way. There is a wide range of assistance dogs. You can sometimes see what type of assistance a dog provides by looking at the colour of the jacket it's wearing. Remember though, an assistance dog may not always wear a jacket. Guide dogs wear white harnesses with yellow fluorescent stripes. Guide dogs are for young people and adults who are blind or partially sighted. Hearing dogs for deaf people wear burgundy jackets. Hearing dogs are for adults and children with hearing impairments. Dog aid, assistance in disability dogs, wear red jackets. Dog aid dogs are for physically disabled adults. Canine partners wear purple jackets. Canine partners dogs are also for physically disabled adults. Dogs for Good wear green jackets. Dogs for Good assistance dogs are for people with physical disabilities or children with autism. Support dogs wear blue jackets. Support dogs are for physically disabled adults. Seizure alert dogs for people with epilepsy and autism assistance dogs for children with autism. Medical detection dogs wear red jackets. Medical detection dogs are for adults and children with complex health conditions. PHV drivers and operators cannot refuse or charge a passenger extra because they have an assistance dog. Dogs and Islamic law. In 2002, the Sharia Council confirmed that trained assistance dogs may accompany disabled people in PHVs managed or driven by Muslims. The Council's guidance helps to make religious law clear and to prevent any possible conflict with secular law. Exemptions. A PHV driver can only get an exemption from carrying assistance dogs for medical reasons. If a driver has a medical condition, such as asthma, which gets worse when near dogs, or if the driver is allergic or has a fear of dogs, a phobia, it may be possible for them to get an exemption. You'll need to contact TfL to apply for an exemption certificate and, if granted, you'll need to display an exemption notice in the windscreen of your vehicle. Complaints. We will investigate any complaint we receive about a PHV driver breaking the Equality Act. If there is enough evidence of an offence being committed, and it's in the public interest to do so, we will always prosecute the driver. If you are convicted of an offence under the Equality Act, we'll decide how suitable you are to be a licensed PHV driver, and we may suspend or revoke your PHV driver's licence. Knowledge check. This is the end of the Section 8 video. The next video takes you through Section 9 of the online assessment guide.